Okay, within this video we're going to take you through the process of taking a slice from a scanned subject. So you will need to open up the scanner software and ensure that you have an RBD avatar displayed on screen. So you can see here I just have a sample avatar of the female form. And what you'll need to do is select the output file that you're going to use. And in this instance, we're going to use the size UK subject output, so it's a reduced version of the output used for size UK. We'll then hit the extract, and that'll run through the extraction and the measurements. And we'll use this to determine the height at which we want to take the slices. So we can then, the measurements that we're going to slice at are the female bust girth, the waist girth at the small of the back, and the hip girth. And you can see them denoted on the subject here. But although we can see where they are related to the circumferences, we're going to need to work out where the heights of them are. So you can see here, bust girth to floor, waist level from floor, and hip level from floor. So you'll need to make a note of the three heights related to the circumferences you want to take. So for the bust girth, in this instance it's 125, the waist level is 105.8, and the hip level is 84. Once we have those determined, we can then extract the slices at these points from this subject. So you'll need to go to Tools, Slice Body to DXF file, and here you'll need to set the parameters. So we can see we don't want to slice the entire body at once, we want to select individual slices. We don't want it not to include this, and we don't want it to combine parts into one block in this instance, but we do want to set the DXF directory, and this will be where the file is saved to. It may be necessary for you to customize this if you want it specifically to go to somewhere you can access on the PC. But you can see here it's currently set to the C drive. If you can't see that, you'll need to reset that to a file location that you can access. In this instance, we'll leave it as it is. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the left mouse button to draw up through the body to get the slice height that I want. And you'll see it moves up in ½ centimetre increments. So I'll need to go to the closest ½ centimetre. In this instance it's fine, it's 84, and I can hit record slice. I can then move up to the waist level, and that was 105.8. So the closest I'm going to be able to get to that is 106. So I can record a slice at the waist level, and again I can continue to move up until I'm at the approximate bust height, and that is 125, which is what I have here. So again I can record a slice at that point. You can see here the red line denotes where the measurement will be taken around this point, but you can also see this black inner line here which clearly indicates the slice that you'll be taking at this point. At this point now we can exit the slice facility, and we can open these files up as DXFs in another separate format. To understand how to modify the avatar themselves, or to view the avatar differently, if you use the left mouse button, you can rotate the avatar round. If you use the right mouse button, you can pan the avatar, and if you hold both buttons together, you can zoom in or zoom out to certain areas. And then double clicking the left button will return the avatar back to the front view. At this point, because we're finished with this aspect of it, we can leave this software, and you'll need to find a piece of software you can open up the DXF file on. So in this instance we're going to use CorelDRAW. Then you can file and import, and you'll have to note down the location of where the file went for your slices. So in this instance it's to the default location here. And when you open this up in the DXF files, you'll find all the slice files, and you'll see the three slices. So this first one is for the hip at 84 centimeters. So we can select that and import. You'll set it to metric units, 1 unit equals 1 millimeter. You can leave the projection and the scaling and everything on, say OK, and place it on screen. Now in this instance, I usually in Corel change it so it's 25% of the overall size, and again by locking this and making sure it's locked, it'll make both elements the same. And then I can draw it up onto the page itself, and because I don't want these extra elements here, I can just delete them. They're part of the hand that was included in at this level. Now what I would suggest you do if you're doing it this way is to then take the text tool within Corel and just write hip, and then if you select both of these areas and group, you'll know this is the hip, and then you can repeat the same process. File, import, select the next slice level, so this is the waist, import it again, click on the page, change the scale, draw it up into view, delete the areas of the slice that you don't want, label up this part of the slice, select it all and group. Now what is important to remember is that you can't center these objects because it's not going to be necessarily correct, so you'll need to think about where it is in relation to the body at that point, and maybe a side view at this point of the body will help you understand where the front of the waist sits in relation to the hips themselves. If we return to the KX software and turn the body side on, you can clearly see the projection of the abdomen or the front of the stomach here in relation to the waist, and you can see it sits out a little way, so there will be an area overlapping here. If we then return to the Corel software, you can see that that is roughly in the right position, and it may be needing to be moved out a little further and possibly up, and while selected you can use the arrow keys to do this. The final slice to import will be the bust, and again import, you can drop it in where you'd like it to be, you can scale it so it's manageable to fit to the A4 page, and you can delete the areas of the slice that you don't want, so the portions of the arm that are kept in, and you can label this up as the bust, and then you can group this again with that part of it and line it up over the top, and this will give you an indication of the bust, waist and hip as slices through the scan file.